The United States has nearly 78,000 licensed gun dealers. That's more than the number of McDonald's, Burger King, Subway, and Wendy's locations combined. Fantastic. You're watching the VSO Gun Channel. Welcome in, everybody. I've got some important news to bring to your guys' attention. And it's not that all Second Amendment news isn't important. It's just that this one, in my opinion, has the capacity to squeak through because it's flying a little bit lower than a lot of people's radar is these days. And if we don't shed some light on it, it is my concern that this might be a viable attack angle for the anti-gunners. So please do all the things with the interaction to spread the word for this video because we don't get any help from the powers that be. Before we get into the specifics, though, I have a little bit of bookkeeping. I had intended to publish an entire video synopsis of a product that I've been working with for months now. The only problem is that I spent nearly the entire weekend with the plague. So I was unable to get any work done. And the reason I bring that to your attention is if you go to the communities tab of the channel, you will find a spot to leave a question. And while I finish working on that video, I will be compiling those questions for a video where I'm just going to go through and answer viewer questions. So if you got a question, sound off in that section. Kentuckiana Gunworks is best known for their research and development into lubrication technology. Their enhanced reliability oil is the product that I choose to use to keep my stuff running year round because the invention of CLP is the worst thing that has happened to firearms technology, dethroned only recently by the introduction of 40 Smith & Wesson. KGW offers VSO subscribers a discount, and you can find that information over at the affiliates page. Special thanks to them for making today's video possible. This news is actually broken and brought to my attention by my friend Jared over at Guns and Gadgets, and he went through the laborious process of sifting through the Everytown from Gun Safety's website and reading bullet point by bullet point what their agenda is going forward now that they've been handed several Second Amendment losses. In reverence of his loss of sanity in doing that, I'm not going to steal the man's thunder. I will have a link where you can go watch his video directly if you want all of the individual specific details. What I'm going to do here today is focus on not only some of the things that I feel weren't addressed in that video, but also the things that I think are target items for you going forward. The United States has nearly 78,000 licensed gun dealers. That's more than the number of McDonald's, Burger King, Subway, and Wendy's locations combined. Good job, America. Fantastic. They then go through this big list of bullet points, present a whole bunch of statistics, and we're going to assume that these statistics are not erroneous in any way, which is a stretch, a big stretch for these people specifically. But in this instance, we're just going to roll with it and let them have it. But they are conflating these statistics with illicit activity, as in the premise that we have these businesses make them the actor of the illicit activity, the vector that is perpetuating these illegal weapons trafficking incidents that they are alleging. Specifically, they are targeting the residential federal firearms license, which is the broadest classification of federal firearms license that is out there. And to be considered a residential federal firearms license, which is a term that they just simply come up with, is you just simply have to not be in a commercial space. So any building that is not considered a commercial building is a residential residence. In fact, this residential federal firearms license that I'm currently sitting in is in a not zoned region. It is just simply not designated as a commercial building, even though it has 2-foot thick poured concrete walls that are reinforced with rebar and would take a rocket launcher to be able to get through. In fact, when I had my initial site visit from the ATF, they do an inspection to make sure that you're actually a physical location. The agent walks in and he's like, wow, this place is a fortress. The concept that a residentially located federal firearms license is somehow less secure than one located in a commercial district is a logical fallacy with absolutely no support in this data whatsoever. What they have done here is provided you with a whole bunch of statistics and run correlation equals causation on it, which is never a basis to generate any kind of scientific data or come to any kind of objective conclusion or truth. What it is often used for, however, is to drum up emotional support for a biased position, and in this case, a biased position that generates this organization billions of dollars in donor funds every single year. There is no direct evidence in this data whatsoever that residentially located FFLs receive a disproportionate level of burglary or larceny as compared to their commercial counterparts. And I would argue that it is much more likely for a business located in a city to be burgled than one located in a rural area, which is predominantly dominated by residential FFLs. And the reason that is quite simple. If you think about my situation, for instance, I am at this place usually about 18 hours a day. If I'm not located right here, then I'm probably right over there shooting at the range. Also, I have neighbors around me in this unzoned region that are nibby. There are people here all day, every day. I've got retirees, I got people who work from home, and we are located in a relatively rural area. We have a reputation here, and that is simple. You don't show up here uninvited because you might very well get shot. But wait, there's more. If you were an actual criminal and you were looking to, case some locations to determine whether they are viable targets or not, either because they have absence of personnel during particular times of the day, or if they just simply don't enjoy layered security like we have here, then all you would have to do is log on to Everytown for Gun Safety's map, where you can find not only the business name, the type of business, whether it's residential or commercially located, and the location of that business. So good job, Everytown for Gun Safety, being the source for firearms trafficking information. Just not probably the way that they intended. Actually, now that I think about that for a second, I wouldn't put it past these wackos whatsoever if the ulterior motive of this map isn't to generate more firearms crime, because that would allow their profiteering. That said, what they have called for is a series of measures, both executive and legislative. So as of right now, we have no definitive movement on those. We will be tracking those, but I needed to bring this to your guys' attention so that you know that when you hear about this, because it is a business related thing, a lot of times firearms owners in general, particularly this time of year, who are, you guys are all out there busy, we all are, will check out whenever they hear anything business related. The business regulations are the way that they screw you, because every business services hundreds, if not thousands of customers. And because of that, they can strike the shepherd to impact the flock. Now, in my instance, I fully expect to be targeted as a home-based FFL because I am a critic and a vocal critic of my government on here on a regular basis. It would not surprise me whatsoever if they zero in on people like me and your other firearms-related content creators that have gone out and gotten our federal firearms licenses, because it allows us to be more efficient in our work, and that allows us to reduce costs. That is the whole concept of this thing, is to increase cost to you, the consumer. So keep that in mind. They can't go after you directly. They are losing hard in the courts and legislatively, but oftentimes they will target people like me and people like your local FFLs to impart large-scale change on you, the consumer. So I want you to be mindful of that and be looking out for more updates on this sort of thing. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you on another video here at the VSO Gun Channel.